Hi everybody, this is Dino, and this is a very quick introduction to the upcoming F-14D Tomcat update, which will introduce a number of improvements, but the biggest thing, of course, as you probably know if you're following my blog or my Facebook page, is the introduction of Tacpack support. So first thing first, let's load some weapons. What you see here is Flight Simulator X acceleration plus Tacpack version 1.4.0.9, which is the latest available at the moment I'm talking. And the scenery is a photoreal scenery from Blue Sky, and we're just we just took off from Point Mugu in California. So Shift 4, if you have the Tacpack installed, will bring a configurator, which is not a complete configurator. You can't pick any store in any location. You will be able to pick between a set of presets configuration. So we have long-range interception, we have dump bombs, we have GPS guided bombs, we have laser guided bombs. So for the purpose of this tutorial, which will mainly focus on BVR interception, we will use the 3C3 configuration, which is a long-range interception. Shift 4 and the menu goes down. Now let's switch to the pilot cockpit, which has not changed much. Major changes are the fact that the multi-status indicator is working, which is basically reporting the store's situations below the central MFD. The top of the canopy has shoot and lock indicators, which are not working. The right side has advisory lights, which are now working with the RWR system. And that's pretty much it. So what we have to do now is to switch to air-to-air mode, switch the master arm on, and we will set weapons to Sparrow. And let's move in the backseat. Backseat is completely changed from the previous version. The previous version was a close depiction of an F-14D, which is stored in the Castle Air Museum, and I wish to thank the guys from the museum for providing pictures of that particular Tomcat. But the upper part in that rendition and in that specific bird is probably being put together with pieces of different Tomcats because it was configured more or less like an F-14A. In this rendition, I completely changed the upper part, which is now very close to an F-14D. So we now have two multifunction displays, which by default are off. So we will first turn them on, and you see Maltese cross here and XO indication here, which basically say radar is not working. So we will turn on the radar, and we'll see advisory lights of the radar here. Now since we are on the back seat, we may also want to do other things which are for which the controls are only in the back seat, and one is to turn on the countermeasures dispenser, which is this switch here. Otherwise shafts and flares will not fire, will not be released, and RWR also needs to be powered on. For information on the other side, we do have also laser illuminator switch, which is not part of this tutorial, but basically you need to turn it on to illuminate the targets with the laser. with laser. Sorry for my pronunciation again. Probably you should be able to understand it all the same. So lower display reports a number of flight instrumentation. So one thing first. Both displays are configured to operate like touchscreen displays. This is not the real thing. The real thing is operated by the soft keys, but it was faster for me to do it. People who know me should know that my main problem is I'm not a professional in the flight simulator industry. I'm a hobbyist. I don't have much time, so I'm not saying you get what you get, but yeah, you basically get what you get because I didn't have the time to do it in a proper way. So sort of touchscreen, the functions are close to the soft keys. Another word of warning, this is not completely true to the real F-14D. I could not find the weapon systems manual. I could not find a lot of information that I would need to create full-blown simulations. Flight manual is relatively easy to find. You can Google for it and you will find it. Weapon system manuals is either classified or doesn't exist in PDF form or whatever, so couldn't find it, and even if I could, I wouldn't have the time to implement all the functions. So it's a very, very basic rendition, which is somewhat similar in graphics and layout, and some other things are fiction, and should be okay for gameplay though. So lower display, it has three modes. Navigation mode, which is this one. The range here is not the rudder range, it is the range just for this display. It's basically reports standard Flight Simulator X traffic and nav aids. Attack mode is used to operate missiles, is pretty much similar to what you're used to do in the Hornet, as a slightly different symbology. This should be close to the real F-14D, but again, there's some guesstimate here. And I've also put built-in test, which was very easy to make and basically does nothing. It's just cosmetic for guys which may want to follow more extended procedure on the ground. So we'll put this as navigation mode. The upper display controls the radar mode through the soft keys here. So you need to touch the screen slightly nearby the soft keys. It has 4 modes, so it has azimuth elevation, attack mode, map, which is ground mapping, as you can probably see. Let's turn the plane close to some ground because otherwise you won't see nothing. This is default FSX mapping, so it's not really fast but works for everybody. And we also have built-in test. So let's, well, this is a good configuration for to go. So we have azimuth elevation on the top and attack mode on the bottom. Attack mode from the top and from the bottom is slightly different, because in the bottom you see this line here is basically the F-14 line, so this means this is the position of your aircraft, and attack mode is basically azimuth versus range. And on the top display, though, the 0 means 0 nautical miles from the own ship, and so this goes up to 80. This is the radar range, this is the radar mode. So let's try to have the Tacpack to spawn a drone, which will spawn at own ship altitude and 20 miles in front of us and heading toward. Create now. And so we see that the target has been generated, and we can designate that by either clicking TWS manual or auto, is the same thing. It's already telling us to shoot. One thing that I would like you to remember though, is the Sparrow is a semi-active radar homing missile, so this means needs to a continuous illumination. So just for if I would fire right now, the radar will switch to PDSTT, which you can do it manually. So PDSTT will drop any track but the one you want to shoot, and here we shoot, and we probably can bring the missile into view. So for a missile like this, you will always need to illuminate the target, and we already hit that. So the target is already gone. We're switching to another, the closest aircraft or whatever. So you saw very quickly. Let's do it again. Let's spawn a drone. Create now. Radar is reset to TWSA, and here's the situation. Let's move to the front cockpit, and this time we will not select PDSTT mode. So you see on the top the shoot and lock indicators. You see the radar is in TWSA mode. We shoot, and it switches to PDSTT. So every other track is dropped, and you still need to keep your target or your steering dot, to be more accurate, within the radar illumination, because Sparrow is a semi-active radar homing, means that it does not use its own radar to guide itself. It basically relies on data being sent by the home ship. So the F-14 needs to illuminate the target, and it's shut down. So let's stay not far away from Point Mugu. You see the debris and various parts of the aircraft being which has been blown away by our Sparrow. Let's move to the Phoenix, and here we see here we will see a bug of this version of the Tacpack. I have contacted the VRS guys, so we'll create another drone. This time is gonna be like 50 miles away, and we'll switch to Sparrows, sorry, to Phoenixes, and we got lock on because we're in track-wise scan automatic, so the first highest priority target was picked. We could switch to other targets if there are any in the area, but this is the only one the radar can pick. And now you see that the first line here is the range, and when this line comes to this line, then you can shoot. This is the no escape radius, which means that you will basically need to fire between this distance, and if you get too close, then you're not in the position to shoot anymore. You're too close, the missile will miss, or there's a risk of being hit by debris. So the bug I was telling you is that the radar, the range of the Phoenix is way overestimated, because it's keeping in its calculation non-lofted trajectory, while the Phoenix really lofts a lot. I can fire right now, as I'm doing, and you will see you will see the missile is skyrocketing, because it's really like flying to the stars, basically. I think it's like 80,000 feet, maybe. It goes up in some circumstances, and this is what makes the Phoenix range so big. So for the wording, I've seen many Tomcat fanatics like I am basically wanting to take their revenge against the super bug who swept away the Tomcat from the skies in the real world. The Phoenix is not as good as an Abraham, and there you see missile is going down, and you well, you can see that, but it has a very long range. Yeah, it's correct, but it's not really agile. It can be quite easily evaded, and so in the end, I believe it's not a very modern air-to-air missile. So again, it's available. It's the Tomcat weapon, maybe one of the reasons why the Tomcat is so famous, apart of being so good looking. And but apart from that, yeah, you can use it. And yeah, you see, we got and again that aircraft there still sitting. But anyway. Uh, So, so again, you can use Sparrows, you can use Phoenix, you can use Sidewinders, which are not spending too much time here. I think you're used to that. Let's do another thing though, which is a very, very brief air-to-air demo. So we'll bring again our weapons configurator. We'll switch to GBU10, take the configurator away, and as I said before, you will need to switch to the rear seat to turn on the laser illuminator if you want the laser illuminator to operate. Now, if by default, so we're going to air-to-ground mode, we will turn the master mode off, and we will drop laser guided bomb. So for simplicity in this rendition of the Tomcat, the display mode is always like the CCIP, but if a GPS weapon, if a target is provided, GPS weapons will be guided by GPS. If a laser target is illuminated, if a laser is provided and laser is shined onto the target, laser will guide the weapon. So by pressing the trigger or enter, you can designate a target, as you can see. This is still provisional. I will add some target data in this mode, and you can release weapon with the pickle. And again, if the laser if the laser is shining, if you pressed the button on the rear cockpit, this will automatically direct the well, we missed the explosion by not that much, sorry. And you see both bombs that exploded in the very same point because they were being radar guided. Another thing that I would like to show you is RWR, which is working. I've turned off the audio from FSX not to make too much noise, but RWR is working together with sound cues. So let's say we are above the ground, and we will create SAM station here. Okay, we should have created that. Hopefully it's not in the sea, but we will create another one on this big island here. But again, if you want the RWR to operate, you need to go back. You need to go in the back seat and turn on the this switch here. Oh, it's already working. You see surface-to-air missile locking into us, and will probably be shut down in minutes. So I'm basically closing this introduction here, just not to put shame on myself being shut down by the surface-to-air missile. So here it is. Enjoy the Tomcat. It's gonna be out probably next weekend or so. It's just a couple of annoying bugs that I would like to squash before releasing it. So yeah, too late, shut down. So have fun.